The early 1990s saw the rough drafts of some ideas from Polygram, the company that has just bought the whole ABBA catalog. One of them, before the Gold and the Thank You for the Music box set projects, was the idea of an album which contained remixes of the most famous songs and some other songs which the authors liked, but weren't absolutely satisfied with. This project didn't remain shelved. In fact, a new mix for Dancing Queen was made in 1991, and the producer was Benny. He and Björn felt that the new mix didn't add anything new to the song, and, as a consequence, the whole project was now shelved. Maybe the most obvious reason to why that mix was futile was that, despite being so old, Dancing Queen is still one of the best Anderson Ulvaeus compositions ever, and one of the best recordings and productions as well, before talking about the magnificent work by Agneta and Frida. It is nothing less than the ABBA classic. Agneta wrote in 1997, "It's hard to tell when a hit is being made. You don't always sense it. Dancing Queen was an exception. We knew immediately it was going to be massive." Frida remembered, "I loved that song, and I loved it from the very beginning when Benny brought home the backing track without any vocals on it. I don't remember if the lyrics were done. They had been in the studio all day, and they had recorded the backing track, the instruments. And it was so beautiful that I started to cry. I mean, even without the lyrics or voices on it, it was outstanding." And these words remain as the best tribute for Dancing Queen, a song that contains all the elements to raise happiness in our souls. It doesn't start, but it rushes in. A powerful piano glissando prompts a strong funky rhythm. We are listening to the first ABBA disco funk song, and one of the few which starts with a chorus. An insistent drums beat, somewhat moderated in terms of speed, embellished with real and artificial cymbal and maracas percussion, build the rhythm bass, together with a very creative bass by Mike Watson, who knew well where to hint at when he was asked to add a certain funky touch. We got the backing track for Dancing Queen almost immediately, remembers drums player Roger Palm. The source for inspiration was the 1974 hit by George McCrae, Rock Your Baby, and Palm remembers that when he was arranging the drums, he found inspiration as well in the 1972 album Gumbo by Dr. John. On the backing track on this intro, Agneta and Frida voices are humming, imitated by Benny's Moog synthesizer. Embellishing more this backing track, a wall of instruments. Hidden in the mix, Benny plays short, syncopated piano chords, and he now and then makes a very precise beauty commentary on the Moog. At the piano, Benny develops his art without any economy. He goes all through the keyboard, he adds arpeggios, makes musical commentaries to what the girls sing, always using different resources from his keyboards. The lyrics are plenty of positive energy, from the very first two words pronounced by Agneta and Frida. You can. We are listening ABBA. Björn remembers himself striking his guitar in order not to get out of time. He says, "These days you would do it with a click track, a kind of electronic metronome that bleeps in time, inaudible in the outdoor recording, but making it easier for musicians to keep their pace. But back then, it was up to the drummer to keep time. Sometimes the tempo would vary a great deal throughout the recording of a song, but every time I hit my guitar on this occasion, the sound was repeated like a beat, which made for a very good feel, and also made it impossible to get out of time." There is controversy about who played the guitars in Dancing Queen. This confusion is due, in part, to the fact that the recording sheets are full of contradictions and that the guitars are quite hidden in the mix. Benny claims that he can't remember that I played in the song, says Shan Schaffer, but that is because he and Björn, for some reason, weren't in the studio on this particular day. For those who want to hear how Jan Schaffer and Björn's electric guitar sounded, the latter, in one of his rarest contributions in electric guitar for ABBA, have to listen to the Spanish version, Reina Danzante. The guitars are more prominent and give a still more funky feel to the song. Dancing Queen is the group's work that shows us no other Frida and Agneta's vocal ductility. The melody of the lyrics go through a wide range of notes. Both girls sing the same notes together, so now and then each of them enters an unfriendly territory for her own range. In a certain point, Frida, whose bassy register is that of a mezzo-soprano, travels into the high Agneta's notes, and Agneta, whose register is that of a soprano, goes down into Frida's deep notes. Each of them has moved her range into risky lands for a clean vocal performance. Well, let's listen to the lowest note of the song. You're in the mood for a dance. Mood, mood. Mood is the lowest note of the song, a central I. Frida, comfortable. Agneta, with her body prepared to reach that not-so-comfortable note for her. Now, on the other point, the highest note. You can dance, you can jive, you. And the second syllable in jive are the highest note for the song, a sustained C. Agneta, comfortable. Frida, with her body more than prepared to reach that risky note. Let's go through the lowest note to the highest. This is all the way which Agneta and Frida travels. Imagine that the highest note for Frida is more or less this, and that he has to go a little more up. Now, imagine the lowest note for Agneta, this, and that he has to go further down like this. Music producer Pete Waterman said, "You cannot underestimate those girls. They could sing. They were incredible." Right before the chorus, we listen a fall towards low notes. In this fall, somewhat sensual, there is the line, "And when you get the chance." It leaves a lot of expectation about the consequence. We'll know the resolution of the tension in the effervescent chorus, "You are the dancing queen." That joyful effect that this song produces is especially in the chorus. Agneta and Frida fly up when singing, something which produces a positive effect in our minds. The orchestra goes side by side when they sing, "Having the time of your life." But when they sing, "Ooh," the orchestra keeps going up, as if it would have forgotten that it is now alone, after its enthusiastic following. Like this. having the time of your life. Ooh. A magnific arrangement. We can notice Frida's early passion for this song in a little detail. At the end of the first chorus, in the intro, both girls sing the last word, Queen. Agneta finishes, but Frida keeps singing for less than a second. She forgets stopping. She loves this song, has made it her own. Benny and Bjorn, addicted to perfection, left this defect in the girls' always perfect synchronization. Agneta has shown her passion as well when singing it, and a good example is audible in some live performances, like that in the movie. In the first Feel the Beat from the Tambourine, Oh Yeah, she sings the same notes as Frida's, but an octave higher. She did so also in the premiere of the song, in the Swedish TV on June 18, 1976. It was the multi-stellar tribute for King Charles XVI, Gustav, and his fiancée, Sylvia Sommerleth, who would get married the day after. This performance would build the myth that ABBA had composed the song especially for the occasion, but its first recording session had taken place 10 months before, under the working title of Boogaloo, the first session for what would become the Arrival album. The lyrics that deal with the changing moods of a girl in a party, you turn 'em on, leave them burning and then you're gone, anybody could be that guy, looking out for another, anyone would do, you are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17, contained an extra verse that was recorded and then removed. The effect obtained is positive. The great chorus comes again soon. The recording session of the vocals remains the only known shooting of ABBA working in the studio. Dancing Queen is an example of the ABBA's incredible stylistic variety, a single placed chronologically between the Spanish-flavored Fernando and the cabaret Money, 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 Money. It would be the only ABBA's #1 hit in the USA, a country that used to be against foreign products. That was a big moment, remembers Agneta. We celebrated with a bottle of champagne. The ABBA song in terms of popularity. A hymn of the gay community. The song chosen by Bono to be performed on stage with U2 together with Benny and Bjorn, a performance that would end up with a vehement bow from Bono to his idols. The story seems to be nothing but finished.